Liencio P. Deriada, an author and editor from Iloilo Province whose works span 3 genres and 5 languages. Efforts to nurture generations of writers from Panay Island gained him widespread acclaim as the father of contemporary West Visayan literature. Deriada was born on January 13, 1938 in Iloilo's Boratok Viejo municipality. He grew up in Davao del Norte and Davao City. He earned an AB English with honors from Ateneo de Davao University in 1959, an MA English from Javier University in Cagayan de Oro City in 1960, and Doctor of Philosophy in English and Literature from Silliman University in Dumaguete City, Negros Oriental Province in 1981. The award-winning fictionist, playwright, and poet, he is a multilingual author who's written in English, Filipino, Hiligaynon, Kinarayay, and Cebuano. His writings in English, Filipino, and Hiligaynon have won him 13 Palanca Honors. The Road to Mawab and Other Stories, 1984. The Dog Eaters in Other Place, 1986. Nightmares and Other Stories of Fantasy and Horror, 1988. And The Week of the Whales and Other Stories, 1989, are collections of Deriada's stories and plays, 1994. Little Lessons, Little Lectures, 2001. A Grammar Book, People on Guerrero Street, 2004, co-winner of the National Book Award for Novel in English. And Airy, 2016, a collection of stories about the author's unusual personal experiences.
This is the summary of The Dog Eaters. Victor, who is a former bodybuilder and club bouncer, married Mariana, who is an undergraduate college student, because she gets pregnant. Victor and his friends, the Dog Eaters of Archaga Street, are always drinking tuba early in the morning at Sergio's store with dog dishes as their pollutant. Mariana was very mad. It is not the life she expected to have. She takes care of their 8 months-old baby and now she's bearing another one in her womb. She can't stand it anymore and tried to abort her child by drinking some herbal liquid which she bought desperately from Aling Elpedia for 40 pesos. She and Victor had a quarrel. Victor threw the bottle of herbal liquid out the window and it was broken. Mariana pounded Victor with her fist but the man carried it. Suddenly, Mariana saw Victor's dog Ramir. She killed the dog and for a long time living in Archaga Street, Mariana cried. So that's the summary of The Dog Eaters.
The Dog Eaters by Leoncio P. Deriada is a story that tells about the result of a person's impulsiveness. Present generation tend to decide for themselves without asking their parents' consent and permission, and this results to teenage pregnancy of many young people, which was the problem of many parents and the government as well, based on the report. And the story portrays the suffering of both young people after taking such action. The author reveals the result of devaluing the sacred of marriage, that two people tied together in a forced manner because the guy impregnated the girl in such a young age. The dilemma started when they realized how difficult parenthood is. The attitude of the two is unacceptable by the norms, and this story teaches a lessons and talks about some ethical issues. According to the author, the issues are the early pregnancy and killing a dog. Marrying someone is when you are both prepared in all aspects, financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. In Victor and Mariana's case, Victor married Mariana for the sake of the baby, and he still lived the life that he used to be, like his vices, while hanging out with his clique of friends. The two are both aggressive in doing forbidden actions without anticipating what will be their life afterwards. Maybe some just accept the reality, yet the fact remains that early pregnancy is regret-free. poverty and being unable to provide the needs of the family due to being jobless is the reason of wrangle between the two. This shows the big difference of couple marrying early and to those whose status are stable. And the killing of the dog and make it as their pollutant while drinking tobacco is one of the ethical issue in the story which is against the law of God. For killing animal is sin. We are all animal, yet we human are belonging to the highest form, and we have the same rights which we are to live and be valued. Humans and animals share the same kingdom, and God says, "Thou shalt not kill, for you are punished." The Bible says in Exodus chapter 20 verse 13, "Thou shalt not kill," because God has the right and power to end the life that He gave.
Let us now proceed to a personal review of the story. According to Angus 2015 in the short story station, there are two issues about this literary piece which he thinks that it should be given an attention. The first issue is about the language, including the grammatical error and typography in the work. He said that the work feels unfinished and hardly submitted to a writing workshop because of the undeniable mistake that made the readers to grab a red pen to correct it. The second issue, on the other hand, is the technique. The story feels a little gossipy, and this made him lose interest in whatever Mariana, the delusioned protagonist, is going through. Nevertheless, the themes are admirable through its delusionment, particularly its transgressive twist. But this could have worked better, and its structure must be reconstructed. Its figurative language was horrible, and its actual language was bloated. The story is filled with details that do nothing for the story or for the development of its characters. The dialogue is rudimentary, including a part where Mariana describes a dog meat through onomatopoeically laughable or ow-ow meat. Therefore, the story pictures the harsh reality of poverty. Derrida used a brutal subject to hammer the desperation in these living conditions. He also showed that there are people who choose to be poor. Maybe not consciously, but the way they lead their everyday lives shows it. One of the challenges in writing a short story is giving life to its characters within its limited boundaries. The story had so much potential due to its subject matter. It could be a mouthpiece for a discussion on poverty, animal rights, gender equality, and so much more. Yet, it fell short despite the author's obvious desire to discuss these things. The reader is then left with a husk of a story, a useful husk that begins with a promise, yet in the end offers nothing. Escape is another choice. Sometimes people even resolve to kill to escape the desperate conditions of poverty.